Robert Kiyosaki is a financial author. He wrote the book The Business School, and in this book he looks at 4 ways to earn money legally. In order to show this, he uses the ESBI quadrant. So E stands for an employee. Let's say, for example, you're working at McDonald's and your position is at the till, so you're earning about 1x. Give it a few more years, you get promoted to, let's say, a supervisor role, and you're now earning 2x. Give it 5-10 years time, you're now the manager, earning about 3x. But what happens is you hit a cap, because there's a limit. There's only so much you can make working for an organization, because you're not going to make more money than McDonald's, your employer. S stands for small business. Small businesses require a lot of time, effort and money at the beginning to get them going. So let's say you open up a barber shop. At the beginning, you're going to earn about 2x, a bit more than an employee. Give it more years, about 2 or 3 years, you're earning about 3x. 4 or 5 years time, you're the best barbershop in your local area, and you're now maxing out about 4 or 5x. But what happens is you get capped again. Why? Is because there's only so many hours in the day and only so many people you can attend to through your business. B stands for big businesses. Those are corporate organizations like Google, Microsoft and Yahoo, and they have what I like to call infinite income. And now I is the investor, where we'd all like to be. You simply put your money into the big businesses and it rotates and it works for you, yeah? Now most of the money is actually in BNI, but most people are stuck in ENS. Why is this? I like to call it the security zone. Basically people get comfortable and quite frankly it's all they know. But at the same time, is there any such thing as job security right now? So let's say you, for example, as an employee or small business, you take 3 months off work. Surely your income is going to decrease. Now what happens to Bill Gates, owner of Microsoft? He takes 3 months off. Well, in fact nothing. His income keeps increasing. Why? He leverages people's time for money. Now with that being said, how long do you think it'll take you to get from E, S, B to I in your lifetime? Now facts say it will take 30 to 50 years. Now that's a long time. Just try and calculate how old you'll be in 50 years time. Too long in fact. So we want to make this in the next 3 to 5 years. But do you know any legal business that could take you from E to I in 3 to 5 years? Now the 2 legal ways are the stock market. Now the stock market is like legal gambling. So you put your money into big businesses, but it's risky business. Why? Because sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And next is real estate. But in order to get into real estate, what you actually need is a lot of capital. So many people waste about 10 or 20 years in ENS before they get enough money to step into real estate, and you miss that 3 to 5 year bracket we're looking for. One of the most successful real estate tycoons in the world is Donald Trump. Now Donald Trump spent 40 years building his empire in real estate, becoming one of the most wealthiest and successful men on the planet. And after, he wrote an article with Robert Kiyosaki titled Why We Recommend. Now, they recommended network marketing. Before I talk about network marketing, let me just tell you a quick story. It's called the pipeline story. And basically it goes like this. In the olden days, people used to live in huts by the river. Why? So they can source water from the river. Now it's very simple. What they did in the morning, everyone went to the river and they came back home, yeah? Go to the river, come back home. Everyone goes to the river and comes back home. A bit like how everyone goes to work every day and comes back home. Now this guy in his hut says, listen, I don't want to go to the river every day and come back home. This guy wants the water to come straight to him. Now of course everyone else called him crazy, but what did he do? He went to the river every day and he came back home. But at night when they're sleeping, he goes back, he starts digging and building. He dug and built, and let's say in 3 to 5 years, he'd built a pipeline straight to his hut. So he didn't have to walk to the river every day and come back home. And of course, everyone else followed straight after. It's a bit like life. People are scared to take a step and they're risking into something new and different. And so they can see it's been done. Now in this business, we're looking for people who are ready to take the initiatives for themselves. Network marketing. It's a $100 billion industry, and we've just started business with a $10 billion company within this industry called QNet. Now QNet started 15 years ago in Hong Kong, Originally, there was one headquarter in Hong Kong, and now there's 50 worldwide. There was 2 original founding members, and now the business has grown to over 9.5 million corporate members. Our main partner is Virgin. Now, that's not Virgin Media or Virgin Record Stores, that's Virgin as a whole, so Richard Branson. And Microsoft also do our online database. Very recently, in fact this season, we started sponsoring the Barclays Premier League, and that's just to gain more awareness for our growing team in the UK. We also have a Formula 1 car, that's where the Virgin partnership comes in, and we sponsor the Olympics. As well, we sponsored Brazil in the 2006 World Cup. Forbes list. Now, QNet has been featured on Forbes Asia. We've also had a documentary on Bloomberg, which is a news channel saying we're the fastest growing network marketing company in the world. And the WEF stands for the World Economic Forum. Now, we're the only direct network marketing company on that list, which features a host of companies such as BMW, Google, Microsoft, and Apple, just to name a few. So, like any business to be legal, you must provide products or services. Now at QNet, we offer both products and services. Number 1, we have holidays. Now QNet owns 7 5-star resorts around the world, and we're partnered with over 2,000. We also have energy products, which is our world number 1 seller. Basically, we have an energy pendant that helps boost you mentally and physically. It's also to do with your chakra and your balance and stability. We have a university in Switzerland and one in Malaysia. It's called the Swiss Learning Institute, and you can study anything up to a PhD level. We have Swiss-made watches by a company called Bernard H. Mayer that we just became partners with. This watch is now exclusive to QNet members only on the QNet website. We have weight management products, which is the ab toning belt. We also have nutritional products. QNet also offer Home Pure, which is a water purification system. We have telecommunication services with a new company called Invoice, and jewelry. QNet offer diamond collectibles and luxury items for both males and females. Now, there's 3 options. Option number 1 is whoever's watching this, you can now listen and do nothing. Option number 2 is something called product value. Now this is where you go onto the QNet website, you see something you like, and you simply just purchase and do nothing. Or number 3, you can do what me, 9.5 million people worldwide, and the growing team in the UK are doing. It's called business value, and it's simple. You buy a product, any product you like, and you become part of the business, and you can start making money with the business. So now I'm going to show you how that works. Congratulations on choosing business value. So basically what you've done now is, for example, you bought a holiday and now you're part of the business. So QNet give you something called a tracking center. Now this just tracks your work ethic and how you operate in the business. So what you now get is a head in the business. So that's you, and you have a genealogy and a left side and a right side. Now network marketing, this business is all about people. So let's just say you get your 2 close people on board with you, friend A and friend B. Tell them about the business opportunity, and how much you receive is an average of $50, and that's what you get paid on Wednesday as your direct commission. Now in fact, in QNet we get paid twice a week. We get paid on a Wednesday and on a Tuesday. Now $50 you're thinking is not that much money. Why did I waste my time doing this presentation? So what happens? A is going to now speak to his 2, and B is going to speak to his 2. And QNet says when your network grows to 3 and 3, it's simple. You make the step commission, which is a minimum of $225. So for every 3 on your left and 3 on your right, you receive 225. Now it gets better, of course, but before it gets better, let me just ask you a quick question. Okay, so here's the question. Scenario number 1. My proposal is $100,000 every day if you meet me at London Euston Station for 30 days. So day 1, 100k, day 2, 100k, and this goes on for 30 days. Or option number 2, meet me at London Victoria Station, and on the first day I'm going to give you 1 cent, then 2 cent, then 4 cent, 8 cent, 16, 32, 64, and so on. I keep doubling it for the same 30 days. Now, of course, which one are you going to choose? 1 or 2? Now, depending on which one you chose, I'm going to tell you how much you've made. If you picked option number 1, well done. Congratulations, you've made $3 million in 30 days. Now, if you pick number 2, how much you received is $10.7 million in 30 days. Why? It's simple. You start with one small figure and you keep doubling and doubling it every day. In fact, get your calculator out if you must. It all adds up. Now, it's a simple process called the power of duplication, and it's what the company actually uses to allow us to make a lot of money. So now I'm going to show you how the power of duplication works in our business. So you've now started, you've bought your holiday, you've made your investment. As I said, you have a head in the business, your genealogy, and your left side and your right side. Now your first week, you go ahead and you speak to 2 people. Week number 1, what you've made is $50. I'm just going to show you the step commission, by the way, guys. Now week number 2 comes along, and these 2 people go out and speak to their 2 people, yeah? And now your network has grown. You now have the healthy 3 on the left and 3 on the right, so you make your bonus of 225. But because you've been paid the 50 in the first week already, they balance it off with the 175, which equals 225. Now the third week comes along, and these 2 on the left and 2 on the right now speak to 2 people, and what you have is 4 on your left and 4 on your right. Now again, we only look at groups of 3s, so what you've got is a 3 on your left and a 3 on your right. So week 3, you've made $225. Now the 4th week comes along. Those 4 speak to 2 people. You now have 8 on your left and 8 on your right. The 1 gets dropped down. Microsoft do all the calculations for us, so you don't have to. And now you have 9 on your left and 9 on your right. How many 3s go into 9? Are 3. So you make $675 on week 4. And it continues. 8 people speak to 2 people. You have 16 on your left and 16 on your right. Week number 5, you've made 1125. Now in total, in 5 weeks, you've made $2,250, which is okay money. But the key question is, how many people did you speak to in these 5 weeks? And the answer is 2 people. Now QNet has something called an inflow and an outflow. The inflow basically is the amount of money coming into QNet through the products and services sold, and the outflow is what comes back to us in terms of commission. So let's say in your first week you start and you've made 225. The next week you make 675 and 1125, then 2250, 4500, and so on. But what you notice is that each week you're getting closer to the line where the inflow and the outflow meet. Now below here is QNet and the profits. If you enter this area, you're making more than QNet. So they have to cap you where the inflow and the outflow meet, and they cap you at $3,000 a day. Now, anyone that receives $3,000 a day is now seen as a wealthy man or woman anywhere you go around the world. But let's say you're getting $3,000 a day now. Is that still good money in 10 years' time? In QNet, we have 2 types of workers. We have a hard worker and a smart worker. So very quickly, I'm going to show you the hard worker. Now you start into the business, you get your head and your genealogy. And what happens? You get your first 2 people, and you have your first 3 and 3. Yep. How much you receive for 3 and 3 is 225. Let's say it's an even better week, and they speak to more people. You have a new group of 3 and 3. So how much you actually receive is double 225. It's $450 with 6 on your left and 6 on your right. And next is the smart worker. Now the smart worker looks a lot different to the hard worker. Why? Is because you have 3 heads. Let's say, for example, the hard worker bought a 1-week holiday and the smart worker bought a 2-week holiday. Now the initial investment is a bit more for the smart worker. So QNet simply say spend more money, make more money. So what happens as a smart worker having the same amount of people in your network, how much will you receive? So you get paid for each head. Now, if you look at this head, you have 3 on the left and 3 on the right. So you've made 225. Again, if you look at this head, you have 3 on the left and 3 on the right. So you've made another 225. And if we have a look at this head on top, what you have to the left is 6 and to the right is 6. So you've made 450 on top. This week you've made 900, whereas the hard worker made 450. Now the good news is the hard worker is still capped at $3,000 a day. But the smart worker is now capped at 3,000 there, 3,000 there, and 3,000 there. So the smart worker is capped at $9,000 a day. Business facts say if a business is failing by 20% or more, don't invest your time or money. Why? Because you're most likely not going to receive it back. Now I just want to show you a scenario whereby your chance of failure in QNet is 75%. Yeah, so I'm telling you, you come into QNet and you're going to fail at 75%. This is what happens. So you come in your first month and you get 2 people in the whole month. And what happens? You stop working. So this business is like monkey see, monkey do. The network continues at this slow rate that you started with, and everyone just gets 2 people in their first month. So 2 becomes 4. Now these 4 speak to 2 people, and you now have 8 people in your third month. In the 4th month, you now have 16 people. Now if this continues for a full 12 months, whereby everyone is just speaking to 2 people in their first month, how many people you actually have in your network is not 24, 4,096 people in your network if everyone just speaks to 2 people in their first month. Now to work out how much you're actually going to receive at the end of the year, if this continues at 75% failure, is you have to now add up all the months. When you add up all the months, you actually have 8,190 people in your network. Times that by 37.5, and your earnings for the year is $307,125. So you started off with 2 people and ended up with 8,190 people in your network, all failing at 75%. Now, this is a large amount of money, but in network marketing, it's seen as failure. Why? Is because success in network marketing is achieving financial freedom in 3 to 5 years. So in the previous example, you just seen what happens if you're failing at 75%. So let's take it even further and say you're now failing at 99.75% when you begin your journey in QNet. Now, this is 0.25% chance of success. In order to do this, in your first year, build a network of 20 people. So first year, you have 20 people, and times that by 37.5 to find out how much you'll make in your first year, and that's $750. Not good money, but of course you're failing at 99.75%. Now the second year comes along, and now you've actually stopped working, and the only people that continue are these 20 people in your network, and they're even failing more than you. Why? Because they only managed to build networks of 10 people each. So now year number 2 comes along and you have 200 people in your network. Times that by 37.5, and how much you've made is $7,500. Still not great, but I guess you haven't worked since your first year. Now the third year comes along. Remember, you stopped working, but now these 20 people stop working. The only people that continue are the 200 from the second year, and they're failing even more than you because they only get 10 people each, and now you have 2,000 people in your network. Times that by 37.5, you've made a total of $75,000, which is great money. But it doesn't have to take that long. 3 years is a long time because you're failing at 99.75%. Imagine failing at even 50%. Now the fourth year comes along, and what's happened now is you've stopped working, those 20 people have stopped working, 200 have now stopped working, and only the 2,000 from the third year continue. And that's right, they're failing more than you again. They only get 10 people, and now you have 20,000 people in your fourth year. Times that by 37.5, how much you've made is $750,000, which is great money. But again, it's taking you 4 years to make this, failing at 99.75%. But what happens? CUNET say congratulations to anyone that receives a network of 20,000 people. You become a diamond corporate member. And what else? They give you a bonus of $1 million. To start the business, there's 4 simple steps. Number 1 is to buy quickly, but don't buy blindly. Simply buy quickly, because the quicker you buy, the quicker you can start earning money. But don't buy blindly, because the product is for you to enjoy. You invest in a product that you want. So if you like holidays, buy a holiday. If you like watches, buy a watch. You're not buying to then sell to someone else. And number 2, like any normal business, we advise you learn. So you learn about the industry, you learn about CUNET, and you learn how to do the presentation. But we like to say, before you learn, you can earn. Why? Is because when you start the business, of course you can't do this presentation. So who helps you is a person who's introduced you to the business. And number 3, build your system. This business cannot be done alone, and in order to succeed, you need a system. So start small and build a strong, solid network. And number 4 is to enjoy. Now I want you to enjoy the product that you buy, and I want you to enjoy financial freedom in 3 to 5 years. And then just to tell you why I started this business, it's because of a concept called the marathon and the relay. 97% of people in this world are living in what I would like to call the marathon. So the marathon works like this. You go to work, you come back home, so basically you take a round and you earn X. Every day you take this simple round of going to work and coming back home and retrieving the same old X. Even if you take an even bigger round and do some overtime, you're still going to get the same X. Now transfer to the relay. The relay, about 3% in the world are living in the relay. So what happens? You take a round, you go to work and you get X. Whilst you take that round, you pick up your friend. Let's say his name is Bob. Bob takes a round with you, he gets X, you get X. Now Jill comes into the mix. Jill gets X, Bob gets X, and I get X. And so on, yeah? We're all working together to make that X together. In the marathon, how many hours in a day do you have? That's right, 24 hours. But in the relay, let's say this is you. You have 24 hours here, you have 24 hours there, you have 24 hours here, and you have 24 hours there. So in fact, you have an unlimited amount of 24 hours as well. In the marathon, if you're ever ill, is someone going to come in and take a round for you so you earn an X? Of course not. But in the relay, you're this guy. Are you still going to earn an X whilst you're ill? Yes, of course. Why? Because Bob's taking around, Jill's taking around, and this guy's taking around. So you still earn X, but we all earn X together. So it's a big business concept, and it depends on where you want to be, in the marathon or in the relay.